The galaxy had seen countless wars, but none quite like the siege of Paraxis Station. When the Velcron Armada descended upon the neutral outpost with 60 warships and enough firepower to atomize a moon, every species with sense evacuated. Every species except humanity. Commander Arlen Voss stood on the observation deck of the station's command center, watching the Crimson Fleet approach like a spreading infection across the stars. Behind him, the evacuation shuttles carrying the last Centaurian diplomats and Threen merchants streaked away into the safety of hyperspace. He could have left with them. Should have, by any reasonable measure. But Arlen Voss had never been reasonable. "They're hailing us," said Lieutenant Chen from the communications console, her voice tight with fear. "Put them through," Arlen replied, his tone casual as if discussing the weather. The holographic display shimmered to life, revealing Warlord Keshatar, a massive Velcron whose exoskeleton gleamed like polished obsidian. 4 mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. "Human Commander, your species continues to confuse us. We offer mercy. Leave now and we will not pursue. Stay, and you become ash." Arlen smiled, a predator's smile that had unsettled alien dignitaries across 3 sectors. "Here's the thing about humans, Keshatar. We have this old saying, some hills are worth dying on. This station, it's one of them." Behind him, a low growl resonated through the deck. Lufer emerged from the shadows, the genetically enhanced wolf silver fur catching the red light of the approaching armada. Standing nearly 5 feet at the shoulder, the creature was a relic of Earth's old wars, when humanity had uplifted their oldest companions into something more. His eyes, impossibly intelligent, met Arlen's with understanding. "And I'm not alone," Arlen continued. A rumble shook the station, not from weapons fire, but from the massive shape coiling around the outer hull. Through the viewport, Dravara's scales reflected the starlight like a constellation given form. The dragon was an impossibility, a creature of genetic engineering and human stubbornness that should never have survived in the vacuum of space. Yet here she was, 30 meters of muscle, claw, and fury, her biosuit allowing her to breathe and move among the stars as easily as ancient dragons once ruled Earth's skies. Keshatar's mandibles stopped clicking. "You bring pets to war?" "No," Arlen said softly. "I bring family." The transmission cut. What followed would be recorded in 17 different languages across 43 worlds, though the details would blur into legend. The Velcron Armada opened fire with the kind of overwhelming force meant to erase problems, not solve them. Energy beams capable of cutting through battlecruisers converged on Paraxis Station. They never made contact. Dravara moved with impossible grace for something so massive, her body weaving between the station's spires as she unleashed streams of plasma from specialized organs that human scientists had spent decades perfecting. Each blast struck with surgical precision, detonating warheads before they could reach their target, crippling targeting systems, turning the Velcron's own weapons against them. Inside the station, Arlen coordinated the defense with the kind of calm that came from having nothing left to lose and everything to prove. Lufar moved through the corridors like liquid shadow, his enhanced mind linked directly to the station systems through neural implants. Where the Velcron boarding parties tried to breach, they found a monster from Earth's ancient nightmares waiting, intelligent, ruthless, and absolutely loyal. The battle lasted 6 hours. In the first hour, the Velcron lost 15 ships to Dravara's assault and the station's now expert defenses. In the second hour, Arlen activated the station's core systems, not weapons but something far more dangerous. Paraxis Station had been built on the ruins of an ancient progenitor facility, and humanity had spent years studying its secrets. The gravity well generators came online. Space itself warped around the station, dragging the Velcron fleet into tighter and tighter orbits. Ships collided, their commanders screaming orders that physics refused to obey. Dravara dove through the chaos, her claws tearing through hulls that were supposed to be impenetrable, her plasma breath turning reactors into miniature stars. Lufer hunted through the station's corridors, eliminating every boarding party with mechanical efficiency. His howls echoed through the communication channels, a sound that the Velcron would describe in their reports as the death song of old Earth's apex predator. By the third hour, Warlord Keshatar himself led a desperate assault team directly to the command center. They found Arlen waiting, a plasma rifle in his hands and that same predator's smile on his face. "You should have taken the mercy when I offered it," Keshatar growled. "Funny," Arlen replied. "I was about to say the same thing. The firefight was brutal and brief." Arlen moved like a man who had spent his entire life preparing for this exact moment, because he had. Every human did. They were trained from birth to be ready, to be dangerous, to never give up. When Lufer burst through the wall with Velcron blood on his fangs, and when Dravara's massive eye appeared at the viewport like a moon made of amber, Keshtar finally understood the terrible truth. Humanity didn't bring weapons to war. Humanity made everything a weapon, including themselves. The remaining Velcron ships retreated after the 6th hour, leaving behind wreckage and a story that would spread across the galaxy like wildfire. The neutral species that had fled returned to Pyraxis Station to find it intact, defended by one human, one wolf, and one dragon. The Galactic Council tried to minimize what happened, to explain it away as luck or Velcron incompetence, but the species who had been saved knew better. They erected a monument outside Pyraxis Station, 3 statues frozen in defiant poses reaching toward the stars: Commander Arlen Voss, Lufar the Silver, Dravara the Starbreaker, and on the monument, carved in every known language, were the words that every species would come to know. A human, a wolf, and a dragon stepped into the fire, and the stars still remember their names. Arlen himself dismissed the monument as unnecessary. He was already planning the next defense, the next impossible stand, because that's what humans did. They found the line that couldn't be crossed, planted their feet, and dared the universe to move them. The galaxy learned that day what Earth had always known. Humanity had spent millennia domesticating the world around them, but they had never quite domesticated themselves. And when you backed them into a corner with the things they loved, the fire didn't consume them, they became it.